Good morning, Get Wrecked for Recovery crew. So it's day 84 of the Redeeming Eden Cycle Tour. RECT, Get Wrecked for Recovery. A bicycle ride across America to raise awareness that there are addiction recovery options available, that you don't have to die in your addiction. There's churches, Celebrate Recoveries, and rescue missions all over the nation, all over the world, that just want to help you, talk to you, and love you if you find yourself battling addiction. So today is Sunday, September 20th, and it's a Sunday that I'm in a town that has a live in-person church service at 10:23 a.m. It's like 8:30 now, so I'm going to pack everything up and I'm going to head to the church service, and then I think I'm only going to go the 31 miles to Emmanuel Lutheran Church that's a little bit farther east. So I won't make Missouri today. But I haven't been to church, actual church, since really before the pandemic started. Because when I left home, our church was still closed. And yeah, on this trip, I just haven't been anywhere where churches have either been having services because they were in, phase 1 and phase 2 areas. Or when I've been in a place that I could go to church, I haven't been anywhere near a church on a Sunday. And so Chanute has like a bunch of people. I guess it's probably 8,000, 10,000 people. And they have a First Baptist church. They've actually got several churches, but my goal is to go to the First Baptist church. So I'm going to get everything packed up, get it on the bike, take a shower, put my dress clothes on. Man, first time I've worn those. No, I wore those in Mitchell with Mike. Me and Mike went out to dinner in Mitchell, and I wore my dress clothes that night. Mitchell had like a half a mile of places, one restaurant, and it was just really neat. I was like, man, I'm getting dressed up. But Mike was the one who told me that Kansas, I told him, I was like, yeah, even if I'm a few miles behind back now, I'll be able to make some up in Kansas. He was like, no, you won't. He said, don't underestimate the wind in Kansas. And he said, don't underestimate the hills in Missouri. He said, that he's talked to several people who have completed the trail, and they all unanimously say Missouri is the worst part of the entire Trans-America Trail because of the hills. So, yeah. Either way, looking forward to going to church this morning. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. This will be the first time I've been to church, I think, in 6 months. Maybe since the last time that I went to church in Florida on the first trip when COVID shut everything down. So yeah, I look forward to this. I'm gonna have a good day today. And then I've only got 31 miles to do, so even if I leave church at noon, 1 o'clock, I should be able to knock that out. I'm still into the wind today, but it's only 31 miles. I can do it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So, that's my plan for the day. And you'll see more of that right about now. Alright, so, crazy morning this morning. I am not at First Baptist Church. So, when I left the park this morning, when I went to take the shower, it was one of those push-button showers, kind of like the, hand sinks. And it was about this high on me. So I had to kneel down to take my shower. And each time it'd go out, I had to press the button again. And so it's taking me longer than expected. And so I was like, it's, 9:30 now. I've got to be at this church by 10:23. And so I just started pedaling real fast. Well, I felt like I was overworking myself. I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. So the bike path turned and went to the left. And when the bike path went to the left, I was like, well, am I supposed to go this way? What am I supposed to do here? So I pulled up Google, and Westview Southern Baptist Church was on the bike path. Like, the bike path leads to the church. And so I came here, talked with the pastor. They let me speak, say some words about Redeeming Eden, and they donated so generously to Redeeming Eden. So thank you so much, Westview Southern Baptist Church, for your generosity and your love this morning, and allowing me to share my testimony and believing in the vision of Redeeming Eden with me. But yeah, so now it's 12 o'clock. They also told me that there's a Celebrate Recovery at First Baptist in town. And I'm praying about it, but it looks like all the signs might be leading up for me to take this day off. I've got 48 hours free at the camp, at the park, so it would work. I'd have, shower and electrical again. I think I may stay in Chanute and go to Celebrate Recovery. I haven't been able to speak at a Celebrate Recovery, and, Redeeming Eden isn't just a future ministry, it's a ministry I'm doing now. And so, yeah, I think that's what I'm feeling like I'm going to do. But I'll continue to pray about it, and you'll know more of that right about now. All right, well, I just did some of the math. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay here at the Chanute Park for another night. I'm going to go to the Celebrate Recovery meeting tonight. At 4 o'clock, and then I'm going to come back and put my tent up here at the park again and get my full 48 hours. I prayed, and originally on my spirit was to go to First Baptist this morning. The bike path took me to Westview Southern Baptist, and then someone there mentioned that Chanute was having a Celebrate Recovery meeting. And so since that's what I'm riding for, I'm definitely okay with going. So, in order to figure out everything, I sat down and did the math of how far I've been, how far I've got to go. I've got 1,600 miles left, almost exactly, from where I am to the end of the Transamerica Trail in Yorktown, Virginia. Then I've got 1,600 miles that I can take the East Coast Greenway, which is a rail trail, which I'd prefer to take, honestly, which is longer. Or I've got the Atlantic Coast Trail by Adventure Trail Association that I can buy maps for $9.99 a piece. And it goes from Yorktown to, it actually goes from Maine all the way to Key West. But I'll take it from Yorktown to Key West, and I'll know where I can camp, where the stores are, and all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit shorter than 1,600 miles. But it's on a lot of heavily trafficked roads. So I'm going to try the rail trail as much as I can. Either way, I have 63 days left, starting tomorrow, until my wife can be in Key West for our vacation. So I took the 3,200 miles, divided it by 63, and I got like 50.85 miles. So I would need to average every day from this point forward 50 miles. I am not going to average 50 miles through the Appalachians. So what I'm thinking is, if I can stick at 40 and make it to the end of the Transamerica Trail on my youngest son, Clark's birthday, which is Halloween, October 31st, if I can shoot for that day, that gives me plenty of time to get to Yorktown, Virginia at 40 miles a day. Then I would do 60 miles a day for 26 or 22 days down the coast. Thanksgiving's on the 26th. My wife can be there in Key West to actually see me pull in and celebrate, the accomplishment of what the Lord has done together on the 22nd, I think is right. I may have an extra day there. It may be the 23rd. She may get off on the 22nd for her vacation. But I'll find out, and I'll know. All that's going to do is give me wiggle room outside. I'm planning it for the 22nd. I looked at the wind forecast. I'm into the wind most of the way to the Atlantic coast, on and off. It looks like there will be a week or two where I'll have wind with me, and a week or two where I will have it, against me. Again, these are weather predictions, forecasts. They are not set in stone. However, on the Atlantic coast in November, the predominant wind is a north wind, which would mean I would get help from the wind
all the way down the coast until I pretty much got to St. Augustine, Florida. And then on top of that, it's all flat. Like every bit of that. The Outer Banks, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, all that area is just stone flat. So, I think this may work. It's what I've been pedaling toward the whole way. So, back in Eugene, if you go back and watch that video, when I stayed in the hostel, the room they put me in had a map on the wall of Marathon to Key West. It's talking about the island Marathon, Florida to Key West, Florida, and it was just a map of that. But I took it as, this is a marathon to Key West. It's a long haul, and that's my end point. And that was kind of confirmation that God wanted me to finish in Key West. So I believe that He's going to provide me with the strength to do it. If I can get more than 40 miles a day. Remember, this is an average of 40 a day for the next 40 days. And then an average of 60 after that. So, if I get 35, one day I'll have 45, and that'll tie it all up. But when I get to the Atlantic coast, it'll have to be 60 or 50 or 70. So I've kind of got that in mind. So far, I'm right on target. Even with my 3 off days, I'm right where I want to be. I knew that I was going to have less mileage in the mountain sections. I thought I would have more mileage in Kansas. I honestly did. I thought Kansas, tailwind, flat, 100 miles for a couple days, maybe more, knock this thing out. But that is not how it's worked remotely. So yeah, today is not going to be any cycling. I even turned the Garmin off and shut it off, because I'm not going to pedal for someone when I'm only doing 1.7 miles to church and then 2 miles up the road. So this one is just for an unspoken request. Maybe you've had someone that you've wanted me to pedal for, but you didn't feel comfortable putting it online. Then this is your day. And so, yeah, I think it's still going to work, guys. I really do. It looks really good. I feel much more comfortable with 40 a day for the next 40 days. And then, ramping it up going down through Florida. I didn't know how I was going to do in the mountains anyway. But, yeah, so I am going to get ready to go up here to the church. It's 2 o'clock now. I may go set the tent up first and then go, but I'll figure all that out. And I am going to post this video so that you guys can understand what today was all about. And, yeah, this is not an actual ride day. This is no longer day 84. This is now a Sabbath. Day 84 will resume tomorrow. But I'll have more to follow right about now. All right, so, wow, what a day. I went to the Celebrate Recovery and had a great time there. Roy led the recovery meeting, and it was just really good. I got to meet Derek and his wife, Grace, and they had a brand new newborn, Mylan, and she was just precious, maybe a month old. And so we got to talk about, parenting and that kind of stuff. And so it was just really good. One of the things that I was able to talk about was that we have a good father. And so in recovery, sometimes a relapse is part of recovery. And unfortunately, that shouldn't be the case, but we're human. We are capable of making the same mistake over and over again. Just look at the Israelites if you need an example. And so I was talking about, having a good father and how it's like riding a bicycle. It's when a child wrecks a bike, you don't just condemn them and tell them it's all your fault. You don't keep them down on the ground. You don't walk away and let them deal with their wounds themselves. A good father, a good parent, walks over to them, picks them up, makes sure they're okay, heals their wounds, puts the Band-Aid on, and then encourages them to get back on the bike. And sometimes it even takes a push, you know? And so that's my encouragement for the recovery community that may be watching this is, you know, if you've fallen off the bike, get back on and ride it again. And, you know, if you're capable, helps give somebody a push in their recovery. You know, let's not, you know, kick people while they're down. Let's do everything we can to help people along in their walk with God and their walk in their recovery. So I came back, I was coming through town, and as I came through town, I was like, man, I could use a burger. So I went to go to stop at Sonic, and they didn't have an outdoor seating area, and I didn't want to go into like a car stall to order. So then Pizza Hut was a block back down the other way, and I was like, I'll just call and order a pizza. Well, I pulled back into camp, and George Patton next door this morning, he's in an RV this way. This morning, he was kind of telling me that his kids were, you know, coming over to visit, that he was in town to visit them. And so he brought me like a couple Coca-Colas and some Ritz crackers. Well, when I pulled up, he ended up giving me, they were all like cooking a big dinner. It's the first home-cooked meal that I've had since I've been back on the road. And it was so good. It was pork steaks, mashed potatoes with sauteed mushrooms, gravy, pasta salad. Just so much good stuff. And then they've also said that that they've got some peach cobbler. So I'm going to go check that out for sure. But first, I'm going to actually get off of here. I'm not going to cut and edit this video right now. My daughter, she wants to do a Roblox game. While we were talking about parenting, I was mentioning my daughter, and then I, you know, looked at little Mylon, and I was like, man, I really miss my daughter. And so this is the first time in 84 days my daughter's called me. She called me like moments later in the meeting, and I answered, and she said, you know, Daddy, Liam doesn't want to play with me. Will you download Roblox and play Roblox with me? And I was like, you know I will. I said, let me finish this meeting, and as soon as I get back to camp, I'll download it and I'll play. So I tried her just now, and she's actually cleaning her room. So good job, Kirsten. And yeah, now I'm going to try to get back with her, eat some peach cobbler, cut and edit this video, and get it out for you tonight. Again, no miles today. I did do miles, and those are for, you know, an unspoken request that you may have had that you may have not spoken. But yeah, a really good day here in Chanute. I'm so glad that I stopped and stayed here for a little while. It was a good actual Sunday service Sabbath. You know, I haven't had that yet on the trip, and it was restful spiritually and restful physically. So anyway, with that all being said, if you know anyone who's passed away from addiction in any form or fashion, please drop their name in the comments or find me on Facebook, Adam Lineberry, Mobile, Alabama, and I would love to ride for your person for a day and celebrate their life with you. If you know anybody who is actively addicted, share this with them. I don't want to see anybody else die from addiction. And let's use YouTube as a tool to hopefully save a life. If you know anybody who's in recovery, share this with them. We're all in it together, and I definitely need the recovery community's prayers and support as much as I pray for and support the recovery community. And then don't forget that Redeeming Eden is a nonprofit ministry through International Gospel Outreach. I'll leave a donation link in the description. All you got to do is click the down arrow and you can find it. You can go there, you can donate one time, you can donate monthly. It's whatever the Lord puts on your heart. And if He puts it on your heart just to pray, then just pray. Prayer has given me a wonderful Sabbath and a church service today. So thank you for your prayers. And yeah, from here in Chanute, Kansas for the second night. My 48 hours are fully up after this, so I gotta leave the park tomorrow. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. I'll see you later. Have a good night.